Hey everybody, this is Huschenbeth and I'm going to do a film review of the documentary Magnus, which is covering the rise of Magnus Carlsen to the top of the chess world. So let me first show you the trailer and then I'll talk a little bit about the movie.
He did have some special traits quite early on.
Jeg tar ofte avgjørelser på intuisjon.
Garry Kasparov was ranked #1 in the world.
This boy had a hell of a talent.
Jeg håper på å bli verdensmester.
The lonely part about being a chess player is it's really all up to you. At least that's the way I feel.
It was a fairly tough environment.
De prøver egentlig å plage meg mest mulig. Jeg jo veldig annerledes I klassen.
Hvor 8 C4. Hvor 10 tårnslår E6. Hvor 6 dronning E5 matt. Hvor 9 dronning E8 matt. Matt.
Magnus Carlsen, this is his first World Championship match.
You can just feel it when your intuition doesn't work. It's just a feeling of something's gone horribly wrong. This is not going to be easy.
Alright, there you have it. Quite a promising trailer there, quite dramatic. So, what is the movie about? As I said, it's a documentary, and in chronological order, starting with Carlsen as a child and how he got to chess in the first place, then following him all the way to the World Championship match in 2013, where he played world champion Viswanathan Anand. So it starts out with Magnus' father telling in a voiceover how Magnus got into chess in the first place and what it was like in Magnus' childhood, and then they cover the most important stations in Magnus' early life, which were in 2004 when he won the Norwegian championship and was kicked out of the World Cup against Levon Aronian, his first, I guess, major setback. And then also the rapid match against Garry Kasparov, which drew a lot of attention back then because he was only 13 years old and he was playing against, well, some might call him the best player of all time, Garry Kasparov, at the time the best player in the world. And he managed to, well, not only get a draw, but he was even close to beating him. So that got a lot of attention. And then the movie takes a huge leap and actually focuses most of the time on Carlsen's path to the World Championship title, starting with the Cannons Tournament 2013 in London, and then later that year the actual match against Anand in Chennai. Now, of course, there's also lots going on besides the tournament, and that's what I found really interesting, is that you get insight into, well, who Carlsen is as a person versus as how we experience him, usually, of course, as a chess player. So there are a lot of interviews with the father, of course, and then his sisters, his 3 sisters, and also with Ludwig Hammer, his longtime second, and obviously with Magnus himself. So just to give you an example, I have a quick movie clip prepared here to show you what I mean.
some of my demons I keep only to myself. It's easiest that way. Because not sharing is usually easier than sharing. At least that's the way I feel. It is definitely a huge frustration to feel that you're the only one who understands something, and that's really the lonely part about being a chess player. It's really all up to you, and obviously being at chess tournaments, being away, always dealing with your own demons and problems with the chess. It's sometimes tough, but it's part of the job.
So I really like to get this personal side of Carlsen, because this is really not what you usually see, and that really comes across in this movie, because all these clips in the documentary are very close to what was happening, especially in Carlsen's youth. I was actually surprised how much footage they had, because, well, back then obviously they couldn't know yet they would do this documentary, and you see all this footage. And honestly, at some moments I really got goosebumps, because to relive these moments again with like playing against Kasparov, this match David against Goliath, or in the super dramatical Cannons tournament 2013 with these incredibly dramatic last rounds, and then also World Championship match. It's just intense. I mean, I was watching it, of course, as a spectator back then. I remember these events, but to have it from this perspective, being so close and also seeing Carlsen's reactions, is a whole different story, obviously. So I quite like that, this dramatic these dramatic scenes, and also to get this personal insight into what Carlsen's life is besides being a chess player, his relationships with his family, and well, that he also has problems, obviously, just like all of us do, and that he's not just a super successful chess player, but also human. Now, I really enjoyed the movie, but I also would like to quickly talk about things that I missed here. I would have liked to see more interviews with the other top players, like obviously with Anand, that's completely missing, or with Kramnik about the Cannons tournament, or with his coaches, Stein, for example, or Kasparov as well. There was this cooperation between Carlsen and Kasparov in 2010, and unfortunately this was not mentioned in the movie, and I would have liked to hear more about that. But all in all, I would recommend the movie to you guys. Of course, for chess players, it's almost a must-watch, because, well, we have been in contact with Carlsen for so long, and I think it's just really interesting to see this more personal side of him, because, well, most of the time he feels a little bit distant or not really easy to understand. This movie helps, obviously. But even for non-chess players, probably nobody's watching who's not a chess player right now, but even for those, it's an interesting movie to watch, because you get to know this genius who just conquered the chess world and has been on the top for so long. And it's just, I find it interesting to to get to know him a little bit better and to understand him a little bit better and what makes him so good. Alright, that was my film review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And, well, one thing I should say maybe, the movie is coming out in theaters in the US this week, November 17th, and in the UK 1 week later. So if you want to, you can go and watch it. In the meantime, I hope you guys are enjoying the World Championship, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.